Everybody, welcome back to the Rebel Chums channel. Today we're gonna assemble, or sort of assemble, the new Kanan Jarrus lightsaber by Solar Soul. So all I'm gonna do is just put some parts with some super glue together. Very small dabs of glue. So it's just more for simplicity and display. And don't worry, there will be a full install done by So-Called Sabers Eugene that will be done properly. This is just a display piece in a raw format, so I'm gonna install it one by one and it's gonna be very high level. So don't worry, again, as I said, it's don't take it too serious. I will do this in a moment. So we're gonna start with these metal struts. Put all these small parts here to the side. So this is most of the part that you're gonna need or see when you buy a lightsaber. So if you buy this lightsaber secondhand in the feature, it should contain all these little screws and whatnot, as you can see here, pins. They're super tiny. So we're gonna discuss that in a second. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these struts, which will go here. So I'm gonna super glue them now and then put them in. I put very small dabs of super glue. It's just basically just enough to keep it in. This kind of super glue is easy to remove again with a little bit of acetone, so that's the nice thing about it. So put a dab here, put a dab there, and then we put it inside one of those lines. Now this is just for me to display it, so again, don't take it too serious. It's easy to remove for me because a little bit of acetone and that does all the wonders. Okay, and then we go to the next one. And I recommend anybody that's gonna display them, you need to do a little bit of assembly. Like if you're not gonna do an installation on them and you're gonna display them like I do, just in raw format, then I recommend to do this as well, because it's quite easy to actually remove the super glue, especially if you use a very little bit of it. It's really cannot do much harm. Let me see if it's the wide angle. Just want to make sure I stick the glue in the right part, right? Or is it fully square? That's actually fully square, so it doesn't really matter. So a little bit on the outside of the tips, just enough for it to stick. Don't go overboard, because that might cause some issues. So actually, I had some glue on the side now. I'll have to get that off in a moment. I'll do that after the video. So here we go. We're almost done. That is one thing I have with these struts. I know that is just how they have to make these hilts. Is I would have loved if these struts were milled out of a solid piece of alloy instead of it being loose parts. Oh. Okay. It's nice. So that's it. 2 more, and then we're done with these parts. Another dab here, swaggy dabby. See how small the dabs are. Like it's like a not even a rice, like a small rice bead. It's really small dab. Having some glue on the sides, which I have to remove after because that looks a little bit ugly. I'm sitting really weird behind the camera, so to be honest, it's a little bit difficult. But yeah, I ideally I wanted to see this as a hilt with less individual parts, but I totally understand that it's just necessary for the way how they are being made. It's just how it is. So here we go. I don't mind the depth of gaps. I will get that away with some acetone and an ear pick, cleaning pick. But yeah, they're in there. So I can get rid of the box after, which is also kind of nice because I don't want to keep the box around and display it in the box because there's so many loose parts. Like how am I gonna display this if everything is in the box? And that's a waste of my money, I feel. So So one of the features that I also want to show off is the removable emitter. So you can see here. I had some issues getting it off, to be honest. It was really snug on there, really tight. Didn't bulge whatsoever. I had to use some W40 to get it off. But we got it managed, so we're gonna continue with the assembly. Let's see, now for this one I need to find the right thing. So we're gonna do the side pins. We're gonna do these little pins here. They're really tiny, guys, so you need to be super careful, don't lose them. When I say they're super tiny, I mean they're super tiny. I actually can leave these out. You know what? Maybe I just leave this out because super glue my. What I was thinking, you know what? Forget it. I'm gonna put this little baggie in the hilt itself, so this will fit inside. So I don't lose any of my parts. Everything will stay together. I will put something in here to keep stuff from falling out. Because I really want to display the hilts and get rid of the box, as I said, because to me it's like an expensive hilt, and if I cannot display them even in raw format, I feel like it's not correct. So then we're gonna do this piece here, which I believe needs to have this piece here in the center. Yeah, that's correct. So this is maybe a little bit more tricky because you have to line up in the middle and then glue it on there. It's concaved, so that helps fitting the surface. Now I'm doing this very small dab here. This is really tiny because this is a really hard part to line up, so I might do it crooked and have to redo it because there's nothing that lines up. Like there's nothing that says okay, this is straight or this is not lined up. So this is probably not 100% lined up. It's reasonable for a first try. It's reasonable. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. Let me see. No, that's definitely not perfect. That's definitely not perfect, but it's okay. It's a very small dab, a very small dab of glue. But this also gives a little bit of an indication that this is a little bit of a part. Like I don't know why they couldn't mill this bump out in with this whole piece here in a single piece. So we have a few loose parts. I personally, I don't know. I'm totally illiterate. So, but to be honest, if this could have less individual parts, in my personal opinion, that would be awesome. But then again, I'm illiterate, so that's probably not possible. So that's probably not the case. So I'm gonna put on the shroud. I'm gonna put a retention screw in the retention holder. And there's another one there as well. It's all included in the set, and you need to be very careful because for everything that you get and need in the set, you only get one little screw or one little pin. That's it. So don't lose stuff. Don't lose it. Okay, get one of these out now. So, and all the really small tiny stuff I just leave in there because who knows, maybe later in the future I want to have this one installed as well by somebody else or by Gene, or I don't know yet. These are not the size. I don't know what retention screw size I need to, what kind of size I need to use here, but it looks like it's not your regular retention screw sizing, which is kind of annoying because I did not expect that, and I might not have that actual retention hex screw size here in my house. So let's do it by hand as much as I can. This is kind of interesting. This is a normal one from the that Saberforge uses for the retention screw. This one? Oh, this one fits. Ah, we have one fitting. Nice. We have an exact size. I don't know what didn't fit in earlier. No, it's not fitting. I just have to angle it a little bit. I do it very softly because I don't want to damage the hex hole. Okay, that's enough. I don't have to make it super snug. So because this is a loose shroud, there is a maybe it also has to do with me having to tighten up the retention screw more, but there's a little bit of wiggle going on, so it has to be tightened up. Maybe you have to put something in between to make that snug part on part, but there's a little bit of room there. So all that leaves, what I'm gonna feel comfortable doing is the control box. So let's put on the control box really quick. Okay, so the next step is actually put this shroud on here. So let me see, I believe it's like this. Yep. Click it on there. You actually have to glue it on there because it doesn't stick automatically. And since I don't think I want to glue it at the moment, that means you either have to put it in the single screw, but then there's a lot of tension upwards, and that's not really nice. Yeah, I think there's no option. I just gonna display it without the shroud piece, and I just put it next to it in a display case because simply because, yeah, I don't want to glue this on. It's gonna make too much glue, or I need to bend it a little bit to make it fit without any tension that it rises upwards. So we leave it as it is, and then we're gonna stick it with that. And the reason why I make this video and show that how to do these individual parts is just to show when I do the full review, you know, why is it not fully lined up or whatever, so you have an idea also what you get into when you buy a kit like this, and how that is different, for example, from buying a saber forge empty hilt, because it's just a different animal. So these acrylic buttons, I think you have to press them in, and before I do that, I want to see, do I want to have the green inside or the red inside? I might go for the other side. Oh wait, there's no option. It's I have to do the red in here. Try to put it in the hole. Sorry guys. I think I have to press these ones through the hole. Just looking if it's just a press, or I need to do anything with, because it doesn't seem to fit that easy. You know what, I don't want to screw up this thing. I don't want to damage the red triangle, but it didn't feel like I could just press it through the hole there and then push it into the hole. So even these ones go back into the baggie and into the hilt. It is what it is. I just don't want to damage this thing. It's an expensive hilt. So and then the control box, I want to have it facing this end. That little retention screw there. These are for the tactile switches, and these line up like this, right? Is it like this? Yep. Or is it the same like this? Let me see, because I don't see, I see threading there. Oh wait, that's not the right hole. Okay, I got it. So it's a little bit off-centered. Okay, so you put it like this. Is that correct? That matches perfectly. Again, not the correct retention screw, so it's kind of annoying. But yeah, this is just for a display piece, so I don't have to do much with it. Just have to be in there and make sure it doesn't fall out whatsoever. One thing I have to say, I wish that this control box could actually have like a small cutout, so it fits exactly in there and it has no way to shift, because now it's on top of it with this retention screw, and it still has potential to shift a little bit if the screw gets undone or whatever. I wish it was a little bit sunken, so that whole piece is just stuck in there. Like you didn't even per se need to put the retention screw. Like for example, I could see if the screw is not all the way tight in, this could potentially move and damage the hilt. Again, it has more to do with me than with anything, but I'm just saying that this, now I'm doing it, that is just an observation as I make. Good or bad, I don't know much about it. So I'm gonna pop this one in, and I believe I can also pop this out. Yeah, so here we go, pop them in there. Oh, and it already falls out. Okay, so I thought it clicks in, but it doesn't. So it does click in, it does have a nice snug entry, but then it doesn't here we go. So boom, so that is done. So now we have a good idea of the hilt with most of the loose parts on there. I didn't put on the D-ring, I didn't put in the molded injectant blinkies, red and green. I didn't input the tactile switch plungers. I didn't input the other retention screw, and I didn't input the small little yeah, contact points here on the sides, and that's mostly it. Let me see. Now that's the shroud piece. I need to do something about it, but then again, I'm just gonna display it, so it's not gonna move anyway. So that was the installation video. The next video will be a close-up look on the actual hilt. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.